Welcome to the final part of our video series for indie developers. Today, we're focusing on a critical aspect of your App Store presence, your visuals. They play a major role in how users perceive your app in the first few seconds, shaping whether someone taps, downloads, or scrolls past. In this episode, we'll go over your icon, screenshots, preview video, and what makes a product page feel clear, consistent, and effective. And since visuals alone don't drive installs, we'll also talk about ratings and reviews, because no matter how polished your visuals are, people won't download an app they don't trust. Let's get started. Let's begin with the icon, the first thing users see. It appears everywhere, in search results, app charts, collections, and on the user's home screen. And it plays a key role in what's often called the 3-second test. That quick moment when a user decides whether to explore your app further or just keep scrolling. So what makes an icon effective? Clarity. The design should be simple and easily recognizable, even at small sizes. Avoid tiny text or complex visuals that won't scale well. Relevance. The icon should give a quick sense of what your app or game is about. Users shouldn't have to guess. Visual impact. Use bold shapes, strong contrast, and a single focal point. Stick to a limited color palette to avoid visual noise. Background adaptability. Ensure it looks good on light, dark, or dynamic backgrounds, since you don't control where it appears. Consistency. The icon should visually align with your screenshots and the overall look of your app. If your icon is clear, relevant, and visually distinct, you're already one step closer to a tap. Once a user taps on your app, their attention shifts to your screenshots. And this is your chance to visually explain what your app does and why it's worth downloading. Think of screenshots as a visual pitch. They need to be quick, focused, and instantly understandable. Start with your most compelling feature, something that immediately shows value. Most users won't scroll through all your screenshots, so make the first 2 count. Effective screenshots are purposeful, showing key features or real gameplay. User-focused, demonstrating what the user actually experiences. Visually organized, flowing logically from one image to the next. You can use real UI, stylized compositions, or a mix. Add short labels or highlights if they help clarify. Just keep it clean and easy to follow. Looking for direction? Analyze your competitors. With the visual comparison tool in ASOMobile, you can explore how your competitors present themselves in different countries, not just on the app page, but also in search results, where first impressions are made. Look at their use of color and layout, how they balance UI and emotional appeal, whether they use text, visuals, or both to convey meaning. You can start right away with a free trial, and if you want to unlock more features, use the promo code ASOSTART to get 30% off your first subscription. It's a great way to test the tools, dive into market insights, and start making smarter, creative decisions. And keep in mind, what works in one region may not work in another. For example, in Arabic-speaking countries, modesty and cultural context are essential. Avoid sensitive imagery or symbols. In China, users often prefer bold visuals, red and gold tones, and playful, character-driven design. This is why localization isn't just about translation, it's about visual adaptation. There's one thing that many developers overlook, but it has a real impact on how your app is perceived in the store. Let's talk about screenshot orientation. Vertical screenshots work well for apps designed for one-handed use, tools, utilities, and casual games. Horizontal screenshots are better for immersive experiences, games with landscapes, rich visuals, or media content. Pick the format that suits your app and stick to it. Switching orientations mid-set disrupts flow and feels unprofessional. Your visuals should work together. Your icon draws attention. Your screenshots deliver the message. If they share the same visual style, tone, and color palette, your product page feels cohesive and more trustworthy. Screenshot checklist. Keep designs clean and readable. Use text only when it adds value. Start with your strongest features. Only show what's actually in the app. Maintain a consistent visual identity. Localize visuals for different cultures and regions. Test layouts across devices, tablets, phones, foldables. Let's move on to video. A short preview or gameplay video can boost conversions, especially for users who want to see the app in action before downloading. To make your video effective and conversion-focused, keep it short and sharp, ideally under 30 seconds. Hook viewers in the first 5 seconds. That's when they decide to keep watching or not. Show real in-app experience, actual gameplay or core functionality, not just animated branding. Design it to work without sound. Most users scroll with audio off, so visuals must tell the story on their own. Make it visually consistent. The style, colors, and tone should match your icon and screenshots to feel like one cohesive product page. Your video should enhance your message, not repeat it. Use it to show flow, motion, or emotion that static images can't convey. Now here's something many developers forget, but it makes a huge difference. Analyzing your competitors isn't a one-time task. The app stores are constantly changing. So are trends. So are user expectations. That's why it's important to keep track of how your competitors update their store pages over time. With ASOMobile's update timeline, you can see every change. Icons, screenshots, descriptions, even in-app events. You can compare before and after versions, spot trends, and see how others prepare for key moments like seasonal promotions or feature launches. It's not about copying, it's about understanding the market and making sure you're not falling behind. And while you monitor others, test your own ideas. And don't forget about A/B testing. Even small changes, like a new icon, updated screenshot, or different headline, can have a big impact. A/B testing helps you find what actually works, based on real data. A few simple rules to follow. Test one element at a time, icon, title, or screenshots, not all at once. Give each test enough time and traffic to get reliable results. Don't assume, let the data guide your decisions. Repeat regularly. What works today may not work in 6 months. Testing gives you confidence to act, based on data, not guesswork. It's funny how sometimes the version you don't expect performs better. You design 2 screenshots, and the one that looks cleaner, smarter, more professional, totally loses. Meanwhile, the clunky, bold, slightly weird one wins the test. Have you ever had that happen? Drop your A/B test surprises in the comments. I love stories like that. Now let's move on to something just as important as visuals, your ratings and reviews. You can have a great icon, polished screenshots, and a strong video. But if your app has a low rating, many users won't even open the page. In fact, apps with less than 4 stars are often skipped, no matter how well they're designed. Your star rating is one of the most powerful trust signals in the store. It answers the key question users ask: do other people like this app? But it's not just about the number of stars. The featured reviews, the ones pinned to the top of your page, often have an even bigger impact on conversion. They're the first reviews users see, and for many, they're the only ones they'll read before deciding whether to download. You can easily find and analyze these reviews using the Featured Reviews tool in ASOMobile. It shows you exactly which comments are shown at the top of your page across different countries and platforms. If those reviews are recent, specific, and positive, they can boost installs significantly. But if they're outdated, vague, or negative, they can quietly hurt your conversion, even if your average rating is okay. That's why it's so important to monitor which reviews are featured and take action when needed. Sometimes just flagging an old, irrelevant review or encouraging a happy user to leave fresh feedback can change the tone of your page. And just as important, respond to reviews, especially negative ones. A thoughtful, respectful reply shows that your app is active, supported, and user-focused. It can help de-escalate frustration and often leads to updated ratings or users giving you another chance. To make this process easier, ASOMobile offers the Reviews and Responses tool, a free workspace where you can manage all your reviews in one place. Use tags, filters, and sorting to prioritize what matters most and respond directly. quickly and efficiently. Also, keep in mind, reviews affect more than user perception. They also impact store ranking and visibility. Apps with high ratings and responsive developers are more likely to be recommended, ranked higher, and even featured. Key things to focus on: monitor your average rating and how it changes over time. Track which reviews are featured and update what you can. Reply regularly, especially to negative or confused feedback. Encourage satisfied users to leave honest reviews. Reviews are more than feedback. They're part of your app's public image. They shape how new users see you, and they directly impact downloads. So treat them seriously, manage them actively, because your reputation isn't just built in code, it's built in how you respond. That's a wrap for this video, and for our series for indie developers. I hope it helped you understand how to make your app stand out, connect with users, and grow organically. If you found this useful, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content, and feel free to check out the other videos in this series for more practical tips. Thanks so much for watching, and just a reminder, you can try ASOMobile with a free trial, and if you want to go further, use the promo code ASOSTART to get 30% off your first subscription. Good luck with your app, and see you next time.